without you, but we're glad you're
Okay.
here.
Well, that's good. Yeah, somehow, yeah, had a little network connection issue. I'm Suri Deitch, and I'm Dean of the School of Professional Advancement. And I'm excited to welcome you to this evening's open house, where you'll learn more about our graduate programs, degrees and certificates, and about our school in general. I'm here with my colleague, Sheila Gold, who oversees recruitment and admissions. And behind the scenes, we have Ann Conlon, who is running the slides for us. So again, welcome. Thanks for taking time out of your schedules to join us. And just to start, I wanted to ask, first of all, if you're able to turn your video on, that's always great to see who's here. We understand if you can't. Cute dog. And if you could put into the chat your name, where you're calling in from, and the program that you're interested in, the chat box at the bottom of the screen. I think probably by now people are very familiar with how Zoom works. So thanks in advance for letting us know who you are, where you're calling in from, and what program you're interested in. So I'm going to start off talking about the School of Professional Advancement, or SoPA as we call it, our programs, our faculty, and our student supports, and then hand things off to Sheila, who is going to talk about our admissions process, financial aid, tuition, those kinds of important things. Feel free to put questions into the chat box at the bottom of the screen at any point, and we will try to catch them as we go through the presentation, and then we'll follow up if we need to. So just to start with, SoPA, as we call it, is a school focused on offering applied programs that are relevant to the workplace and supporting working adults. And it's actually a longstanding school within Tulane. Tulane was originally founded as the Medical College of Louisiana in the year 1834. The medical school was followed by a law school, and then our predecessor school was the third school created at Tulane. So there's a really long history of supporting working adults and providing access to diverse populations, which is one of the things that we're really proud of in what we do. You can see on the screen, there are 10 schools at Tulane. We are one of them. And on the next slide, there are some images of our space and the Uptown campus, which is where we are physically based in the city of New Orleans. Most of our instruction is online. A little over half of our graduate students live in the New Orleans Gulf South region, but we have students all around the United States and some overseas, including sometimes students who are deployed as part of military service. So that's our beautiful space, which if you haven't seen, hopefully you'll get to see at some point. And on the next screen is a picture of what a SoPA diploma looks like. So as we like to say, these are Tulane programs taught by Tulane faculty, and you earn a Tulane degree. So in the next slide, just gives you a little bit, like I said, a little bit of a preview of what we're going to talk about. Again, programs and faculty, what we call our learning experience, which is how we teach, again, student support, and then I'll hand things off to Sheila to talk about the rest. So our faculty are a combination of full-time faculty. We have about 40 full-time faculty at the school and about 150 adjunct or part-time faculty. The two folks on the left of your screen are part-time faculty. They have really busy, demanding day jobs, but teach in our programs because they love to share their knowledge and their professional networks with our students. And they especially enjoy teaching our diverse, largely adult student population as well. On the right-hand side of the screen, Tyra Mitchell and Ralph Russo are both full-time faculty who came from industry. So Tyra teaches in our kinesiology program and Ralph in our information technology program. And they come with these amazing diverse backgrounds. Most of them have spent some time in industry during their careers. The full-time faculty get to be completely devoted to working with students, but the part-time faculty are very devoted as well. And on the next slide, just another example of a faculty member, Amanda Fennell, who teaches in our information technology and cybersecurity programs. And again, a quote from her about why she likes to do this work. So we have two kinds of programs at the graduate level, certificate programs and master's degrees. The next slide shows a list of our master's degrees. They are various kinds of degrees, all of them applied and relevant to the workplace. So the Master of Science, a Master of Professional Studies, that's in our security studies, emergency and security studies area, Master of Public Administration, Master of Arts and Teaching. I saw there's some folks who are interested in that. A Master's of Education, which is a program that we just launched this fall. And then the Master of Liberal Arts, which is an humanities and social sciences degree that is, by definition, not as focused on industry, but is really developed to be especially interesting and welcoming to adult students. So all of these programs have their own sessions where you can hear directly from faculty and advisors and learn more about career paths and the curriculum. We just touch on them real quickly during this session. So graduate certificates at SoPA in every case are part of the master's degree program. We call them stackable, which means that if you are in a graduate certificate program and you decide you want the master's degree, you can transfer seamlessly into the full degree program. If you're in a master's degree and you take all the courses in a certificate program, you are awarded the certificate as well as the degree. The certificates and the degrees have the same admissions requirements and standards, which is one of the reasons why moving back and forth between them is completely seamless. The next slide shows a list of the certificate programs in all of our different areas, or most of our different areas. The Master of Liberal Arts doesn't have certificates, but all the applied areas do. Each of the certificate programs is 4 courses, which is 12 credits. The degrees are between 30 and 36 credits. So you can see it's a significant part of the full degree program. And I would just call out one certificate, which is an exception, which is Cyber Technology Fundamentals. That one is 6 courses, and it's a little bit different in structure and purpose. It's really for folks who want to move into the IT or cybersecurity industry and don't have either a professional background or an academic background in studying in information technology or computer science. So it's more of a program for people who are shifting in their careers. So that's like the long list of our academic programs. I want to talk next about what it's like to be a student at SoPA. So the vast majority of our instruction at the graduate level is online. In most cases, you're in a class where you're meeting in a synchronous fashion, like we're doing right now, between 4 and 6 times a semester. And the rest of the time, you're doing the work on your own time and on your own schedule with a lot of structure and support so that you keep making progress through the course. The Master of Liberal Arts is a little bit different, in part because It is largely taught by humanities and social sciences faculty from other parts of the university. Many of those classes are in person on the Uptown campus. You can do a mix of in person and online. That's usually what people do. And the Master of Arts in Teaching, which is really focused on people who want to be teachers in the state of Louisiana or in the local region, has a combination of online and in-person instruction as well. But the way I would summarize how we teach online is just as it says on the screen. It's highly interactive. They're small classes. It's a mix of different kinds of ways of interacting and modalities. You could have podcasts and videos. Sometimes you have simulations. Some of our faculty use virtual reality. And what the research shows is that if you have motivated students, which sums up SoPA graduate students really well, the online learning environment is flexible. It's easier to balance with other obligations. It's generally what our adult students prefer to have. And it works for people who have a lot of different learning styles and ways of absorbing information. The next slide just gives a couple images, more images. So the great example of the student listening to her podcast on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar, and then an image from the metaverse, which is a virtual reality environment that one of our faculty has developed. So that's the online learning experience at SoPA. I'll say a little bit about student support and success. So every one of our graduate students is assigned a highly experienced academic advisor who can work with you to figure out which courses to take when, how many courses to take. Generally, our graduate students are taking 2 or 3 classes at a time. Sometimes people have to take one because of other obligations they have, although we try to encourage people to take more so they're making progress through their programs. And once in a very long while, we have a student who wants to take 4 classes at once, which is not something we advise at the graduate level unless you have nothing else going on in your life, which is not so typical for our students. The academic advisor is there to work with you, not just on planning for what you take and when, but also if an issue comes up, which it often does, not infrequently. You know, in the case of New Orleans, an evacuation for a hurricane, or in the case of many of our students being deployed through the National Guard, or a work issue or a family issue, the academic advisors and the faculty are really focused on keeping you in school and on track toward your academic goals. We show a lot of flexibility. We don't compromise on the rigor and quality of the work we expect, but we show a lot of flexibility in terms of when and how people get that work done. And we want to keep you in school, and we want to provide an environment where you can do your best possible academic work. So you have an academic advisor, you have the faculty who, as I mentioned, are very much focused on knowledge and networks. And then we have an incredible career advisement service within the school, focused again on adult students, oftentimes people who are changing careers and figuring out how to apply what they've done in the past to what they want to do in the future. But you will get access to online seminars. You'll get access to in-person networking. If you're in this region, our career advisor will go with you to an industry event. She'll work with you to get ready for a job interview, to tighten up your LinkedIn profile or your resume. And it's an incredible service. And the fact is that the vast majority of our graduate students are here because they're focused on career advancement. And so the career advisement services are really important. And the last thing I'll talk about is, along with that, what we call credit for prior learning, which basically means that if we go to the next slide, that there are a number of ways in which you can get credit toward the master's degree for previous experience. In some cases, we have partnerships with specific organizations for specific programs, the National League of Cities for the Master of Public Administration, the National Guard Homeland Security Institute for Emergency and Security Studies. But we also have something called portfolio assessment, where if you have experience in areas that are directly relevant to the coursework in the master's degree, our faculty will work with you to document your experience, match it up to the learning objectives of the individual courses. And then once you've developed your portfolio, other faculty will grade the portfolio and give you a grade and credit. And you can actually get up to 6 credits, which is 2 courses toward the master's degree. And as the slide points out, that's a savings of tuition as well as time. And with that, actually, let me just say one more thing before I hand it over to Sheila, because I see that we have some folks who are interested in the Master of Arts in Teaching. We have a really special federal grant from the U.S. Department of Education right now, where for people who want to go into teaching, who are currently teachers and want to become certified and licensed as teachers, we can, in New Orleans, in the city of New Orleans, we can waive tuition on the Master of Arts in Teaching. And so that's been an incredible opportunity for people who live locally and want to be highly qualified classroom teachers. And so that's just, it's a special thing. It's only for this program. It's only for 3 years. And we're really so pleased to be able to offer that opportunity. And with that, I will hand things over to my colleague, Sheila Gold.
Thanks, Suri. I appreciate you all being here tonight. My name is Sheila Gold. Once again, I'm the Executive Director of Recruitment and Admission, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the application process, how we can support you in affording your Tulane SoPA degree, and then also some important deadlines. So as Suri said in the previous slide with our credit for prior learning, we try to offer multiple different ways for students to be able to afford their SoPA degree. The first one is I want to explain our tuition. Our graduate tuition rate is $12,010 per $1,210 per credit hour. I'm so sorry. And our classes are 3 credit hours. So every class is 3 credit hours. Our MAT in teaching is a different per credit hour rate. And of course, if you're local, please reach out about the SEED grants. With that said, I always encourage every student to fill out the FAFSA form. That's the federal form for financial aid. My pro tip on the FAFSA form, it is a multi-stepped process if you've never filled out the FAFSA form. So please don't wait to do that. When you start your application to SoPA, also start your FAFSA application. So don't leave that to the last minute. With the FAFSA, you will see if you're eligible for federal grants or loans. And then we offer several other types of scholarships or ways that we can help you with your tuition. If you are a transfer student, if you are transferring any credits over from another program, you will be eligible for a $1,500 transfer credit scholarship. We also have what we call our early enrollment scholarship, and I will touch on this when we talk about our deadlines in a couple screens. But essentially what this is that for each term, enrollment term, if you as an incoming student register for your first semester of classes by a certain date, and I will share those dates in a minute, you will automatically receive $500 off your first semester tuition. So I encourage every single one of you to go ahead and get your application in, get admitted to SoPA, and accept your offer of admission so that you can be available to register for classes by these early dates. There's no reason not to get that $500. It's our pleasure to offer that assistance to you. And it also is an incentive to sort of get going a little early so that you're not sort of doing all these last minute plans and registrations right before the semester starts. So it's helpful to you in multiple different ways. Then, of course, Surya explained the SEED scholarship for the local MAT students. In addition to the financial aid, we also offer multiple different groups of people a 20% tuition discount. So I'm going to go over these. You can read them, but I'm still going to go over them. And if you hear that one of them is yours, please go ahead and pursue the 20% discount. Active duty military or veterans. If you're a PTK member, that's the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society for folks who went to two-year colleges. We offer a PTK scholarship, even though that's an undergraduate honor society. The scholarship does apply to our graduate degrees. K through 12 instructional staff, those are teachers. New Orleans area public employees, if you are an adult over 60, if you're an alum of Tulane, or if you have received a degree, bachelor's or graduate, from a minority serving institution or / HBCU. And then also, if you are active or retired public safety personnel, firemen, EMS, that sort of safety personnel. So multiple ways for us to help you pay for your SoPA degree. And we, if you have any questions about that, please reach out. We're happy to answer more questions about that. Also, if you have specific questions about financial aid while you're filling out the FAFSA, please contact our financial aid office directly. And if you don't know how to do that, we can give you that information. So email us about that as well. Next slide about the application process, please. So our application is an electronic application. It lives on our website. So go to sopa.tulane.edu. The address is at the bottom of this page. You'll see a big button at the top that says apply. Click that and then select the graduate application. We try to make our application process as transparent and straightforward as possible. However, there are always questions that come up. And I encourage every applicant, reach out to us. Do not be shy. One of the things that makes SoPA unique and special, and I think is a distinguishing factor from other schools, is we really like to know our students. We like to make relationships with our students. We feel like we're entering into a long-term relationship with you all. So please feel free to reach out and we will answer any questions. With that said, the elements of the graduate application, you will need to upload a government ID. For most people, that is just simply taking your phone and taking a picture of your driver's license. You can also upload a passport. We will need transcripts from every school where you've received college credit. So if you've received college credit from 3 or 4 different institutions, we will need all 3 or 4 of those. You can send those by US mail or send them electronically. I would encourage you, if you have the option to send them electronically, to do that. It's faster. And it reduces the chance of things getting lost, like in the mail. But some schools only give you the option to send US Postal Service, and that is fine too. For many of the graduate applications, there is a writing sample. There may be 2 or 3 questions that you will need to answer. Take that writing sample very seriously. The faculty are very interested in not only knowing the answers, the content of how you're answering the question, but also they're going to be looking at your writing as well. So take your time with those, proofread them, all the important things. You'll also need to upload a copy of your resume. The good news is that most people are interested in knowing we do not require the GRE, so no standardized tests to be admitted to our graduate programs. There is a $50 application fee for our graduate program. However, if you attend our webinars like you all are doing, as a thank you, we automatically waive that fee. If you have already applied and paid that fee, please email me either tonight or tomorrow and I can refund that fee. It is very easy to do. Do not be shy about it. My email will be shared at the end of this webinar, and I encourage you to get that $50 back. It'll be my pleasure. All right, some deadlines that are important. So I just want to reiterate the early enrollment scholarship, $500 if you register by the dates I'm about to share, and you will automatically get that $500. So go ahead and, get your application in and be prepared to register by these dates. So we are currently accepting applications for our spring semester, which is our January term. That application deadline is January 1. So you still have some time, but time is sort of moving quickly, especially with the holidays in the mix. However, if you get your application in now, get admitted, you will be prepared and ready to register for classes by December 1, which is our early enrollment scholarship. So if you're thinking about applying to SoPA, do that now. The next term is our summer term. The application deadline is May 1, but once again, apply way before that and be prepared to register for classes by April 25th, and you will receive the early enrollment scholarship. And then if you're a real planner and you're already thinking about next fall, our deadline is August 1, but once again, no need to wait until August 1. Get your application in. And if you register for your first semester by June 1, you will get that scholarship. So these deadlines are going to be sent to you. Tomorrow, you're going to receive an email from me with a copy of that. We're videotaping this webinar. It will be uploaded. So if you want to go through and remind yourself of these deadlines, you certainly can. They are also on our website. So with that, I will ask if you all have any questions. My email is at the bottom. There is a phone number. I always encourage everybody to email me. I am not always next to my phone. I am always in front of my email. So go ahead and reach out to me that way. And if there's any questions, you can drop them in the chat.
And again, we just want to say thanks to folks for taking the time to be with us this evening. We look forward to getting to know you as part of the application process, and hope to see you soon as graduate students at SoPA. So hope everyone has a good evening. Thanks for joining us, and we will be in touch. Thank you.